Welcome back to A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast. It is Tuesday, August 12th. We are in the heat of summer, and the Brewers are as hot as this team has ever been by a country mile. They have won 10 straight, and I'm not going to say that they're on their way to 11, but they're up 4-0 right now, Sam? I know you're getting us some live updates here.
We are up 4-0 right now. Yes, to yes. Paul Scones, I think is his name. I don't know who this. They rolled out some pitcher who's got a little bit of hype to him, which Sal Frelick took a yard in the first at bat of the game. And we are up 4-0, and this guy's ERA is tanking by the minute. So I'll get you. Yeah. I'll get you.
Hey, the Brewers put 4 up on Skeens before, and now they've put 4 up on him again. Fraud alert, honestly.
And you had to think today was a day that he had circled. You know, he wanted his get back. You know, this is one of the best athletes in baseball who really wanted one today. And it was over so fast. And this is going to be an episode for everybody listening. Once again, I'm just going to lay it out. This is a free play kind of episode for us because life has been absolutely crazy. I bought a house yesterday. I started training for a half marathon. I ran through hail today. That was really fun. But Sam's been back here prepping his butt off for this episode. I just know it. But in all honesty, the Brewers give us enough to talk about. I could talk about them for weeks. And it's to the point right now where the Brewers have been so good over this stretch of games that it's almost boring to talk about them. Like I said, it's almost boring to watch them. Like I know that's probably like, I know so many people are going to disagree with me because for many of you or many people around the state, this might be the only time that they've turned the Brewers on in ever because this is a team that is on national news every single day. I swear Mark DeRosa has a different 10-minute segment on the Milwaukee Brewers. And, of course, he just repeats the exact same things and just adds them to whatever food condiment it is for the day or whatever Waffle House thing. There's lots of videos on Facebook you can find. But everybody is talking about the Milwaukee Brewers. Sam, I know you've been a fan your whole life, but I need you to kind of put this moment and this stretch of Brewers baseball, which I think is 25-4 in their last 29. Can you put this into perspective for someone who, before these last couple of years, was on the outside looking in for Milwaukee baseball? This is a beautiful, beautiful time to really be turning up a notch. As a Brewers fan, as a Milwaukee sports fan, as a Wisconsin sports fan, a team that has always been okay. And you know what? Maybe it's a good team that isn't investing a ton. We got the new stadium. They've always been there. They're not in danger of leaving. And now we have a team that we can really be proud of, that we can tune in every single day and see a light show, see something exciting. This is the first season that I've really been a daily Brewer fan. You know, like I've always been full sports, you know, all hands on deck for the Packers, the Bucks, and the Brewers. So I've always, you know, had my heartstrings pulled, especially over the summer. Like who's really spending their summer watching the Brewers every single day? But you know, I've got the game circled now. I know what I'm doing at 6:40 on a Tuesday night. Yep. Because this team is electric. It's something that shouldn't be happening in a league without a salary cap, when a big narrative of baseball has been that the Dodgers or the Mets or the Yankees can just buy the best players. For the Brewers to be doing what they're doing right now is not normal. It's not supposed to happen. There will be a 30 for 30 about it. It's Linsanity. It's King Vaughn stepping up. It's really, really remarkable. So to be able to be in this moment and podcast with you, Cody, and be able to talk about the Brewers and be able to be lucky enough to have watched this team from day one, you know, I'm just grateful that this is the year that I tuned in. And I think a whole lot of Milwaukee is in the same boat, because if they started hearing the murmurs about Miz a little bit earlier, if they started hearing Atanasio's quote early in the season and said, I wonder how this team's going to turn out. You know, if they tuned in a little bit after
the Yankees series in the first series, if they knew a little bit about Jackson Chourio, how we've got a young prospect who might do a little bit of things for the team. Anybody who tuned in a little bit earlier to this team is just, I hope they're lucky and I hope they're grateful. And not to talk about October quite yet. If we don't win a series, man, what a season. This moment right now for what's going on in Brewers baseball, and obviously hopes and expectations for October are still going to be there. But this season is really freaking remarkable, Cody. It just is.
It is. It is a season that is better than anything that Milwaukee fans have seen to this point on a baseball field. You can go back to the Milwaukee Braves. They brought home a championship. You can go back to the 1982 Brewers. You can go back to 2011. You can go back to 2018. No team in Milwaukee baseball history has put together a stretch of games like we have seen over the first. We're over 115 into the season right now. My math is probably off here because when the wins just keep pouring in, you can't count them up. They happen too quickly. This team is on pace to win over 100 games right now. This is a team that lost a Willy Adames in the offseason. This is a team that had their hearts broken in the wildcard team by a team that literally gave a contract worth over $800 million to one player. And here we are.
And Yelich is hitting another home run as we're talking right now. William Contreras scores. The Brewers are up 6-0.
It's euphoric. And what kind of brought it all together was 2 days ago on the Sunday game when the Brewers were down 5-0. I can't even remember who were they playing for this game.
The Mets.
They were playing the Mets, who I just
a really good team.
The really, really good New York Mets. And the New York Mets went up 5-0 on Quinn Priester Day, which, mind you, Quinn Priester and the Milwaukee Brewers had won his last 11 starts. He was trying to make it 12. He had a dud of a start. The Brewers were down 5-0. They chipped and clawed and fought their way back. And in the bottom of the ninth, who else but Isaac Collins, who has been the talk of Major League Baseball? Only him and Shohei Ohtani have an on-base percentage over .385 and over 10 stolen bases. That's it. That's the list. It's Isaac Collins and Shohei Ohtani. And this kid, who 3 years ago was DFA'd by the Colorado Rockies minor league system, went yard against the highest-paid closer in all of baseball to send Milwaukee to 9 straight victories and to have them on pace for 100 wins. And you could hear it in Jeff Levering's voice when he made the call. He was laughing. And I'm laughing when I see this. Like when Yelich just hit that home run. When Terang just hit his 4th home run in 5 days. Bryce Terang, 5'11", skinny like a beanpole. Sal Frelick led this day off with a home run. He had 2 all of last year. And this team just continues to do things that you only see when you turn on a movie. I am serious about this. And I shared this to my Facebook. I don't know if you and I are Facebook friends. I mean, I have different personalities amongst the different social medias, but my Facebook one is the very warm-hearted baseball, which I guess is kind of how I live my life. But I shared this post from ESPN Milwaukee where they interviewed Jeff Levering, who was on the call for that day. And they asked if he thinks that Bob Uecker has anything to do with this season. And you sent me a text right after that Isaac Collins home run as well, saying that I bet Bob is up there laughing right now, saying, see, I told you guys I just had to leave, and then they'd hit like this. And right when Levering said it, and it was on the ESPN Milwaukee video, he said right when he hit it, and they went to break, Lane Grindle went and pointed up at the Bob Uecker and said, this guy's hilarious. Because they think that Bob Uecker is writing this script. And you and I have talked about it before. We've seen the movie Angels in the Outfield. But the things that we have seen this year this is not normal. This is not real life. This is not the way that baseball has ever been played before by a group of guys like this.
And that Sunday game, you talking about a little bit of magic. Going down 5-0. That's a lot And that game, we saw two of the best 10 closers in baseball. Helsley threw 105 the night before, and then Edwin Diaz hadn't given up a run in 2 months. He hadn't given up a run in 2 months. This is one of the premier, if not arguably the premier closer in baseball.
He's the best closer in baseball. Edwin Diaz is the best closer in baseball, I can say.
He sure is. And Isaac Collins, a rookie, took him yard. And something that's incredible, the night before that, Milwaukee got rolled by storms. Milwaukee flooded that night. They put out a statement. The Milwaukee Brewers Twitter, Facebook media put out a statement saying that we're going to start the game on time. American Family Field impacted by the flooding. Half the parking lots are not currently accessible to traffic. Access roads are closed. We will not be able to guarantee parking for the fans, even those who paid for parking in advance. 34,000 fans showed up to that. On the day that Milwaukee flooded, I drove during that storm. I was driving from La Crosse to Madison that night. I almost pulled over on the freeway. I've been on a lot of sketchy drives. I almost pulled over on that drive because it was terrible. I mean, it was nonstop lightning. It looked like daytime with how much lightning was going out. You've seen pictures of whole trucks underwater. And this is a city that is La Crosse floods sometimes because we're in a river plain, and we're like, that's just what happens.
Literally a marsh. The city was built on a marsh.
Milwaukee doesn't flood like that. I grew up there. I've never seen streets flooded like that. And that's the day that this team pulled together some magic. And it was against the best closer with your rookie, down 5-0. It's the day after we won a game, 2 days after we won a game, another walk-off win with a throw from the outfield. We can win multiple ways, and it's just, it's magical, man. It gives you goosebumps.
It's like there's a movie here, right? I know I said it at the end of last year where like you talk about this team and the payroll and everything and how every single year it seems like they are doubted even more. I think the over-under was at 78 wins in some betting books for this team. They're going to break it, and it'll be August 20th when they break it. There'll be another month and a half of regular season baseball where the Brewers hit the over on their prediction. It makes you speechless, and you have to be thankful for it, and you have to go back and even look at the trade deadline and the fact that they continue to stick to this model, and that's what they call it. That's what Jeff Passan said. It is a perfect baseball model, and you're seeing the fruits of it right now, and this is a model that is going to produce a consistent baseball club every single year. And this year, it's not just the consistency, but you have the crazy. You have the extra pizzazz, the spiritual mojo, pocket pancake, whatever the heck is going on in Milwaukee right now. You have this entire city buzzing, and it feels like when the Bucks made that championship run just 4 years ago. That this is how big this feels right now. And it's at a point where, yes, it's the regular season. This team can go and win 100 games. Does it still mean that much if it's still a one-and-done team in the playoffs? If that's the case?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it does. I mean, I don't think that there's anything that'll take away what Milwaukee's experiencing right now. I say that being the team that has been bounced a lot in the first round as of late, quite a bit more often than not. So we're almost a little bit prepared for that, more so than anybody. Obviously, the hopes are higher, but I don't think this summer of baseball will change, no matter what the outcome is in October.
Last summer,
and
was
that's
really
why
fun too.
We have a chance in October. It's
right.
Last summer was fun, not like this. Not like this.
No, it's not. This is stupid fun, but it's almost like, are they playing into it or not? If they play into it this hard to get our hopes up that high, that monumentally high, to go and win 100 games with a payroll of about that number, you're about paying $1 million per win if you go and win 100 games this year, and that's not how baseball is supposed to be in Major League Baseball. And if my answer is no to that question, I don't I can't stomach that. I can't stomach the thought that this team can go out and play like that for so long and just not find a way to get it done. And I'm not saying you go fire anybody, but I'm saying that this is going to be a year where it just continues this story of, look, the Milwaukee Brewers, they were the underdogs all year. They went and prevailed until it actually mattered. And this would just be another chapter in that book. And I won't be content with that. And it's not going to, I can't put the blame on Mark Attanasio. I can't put the blame on Matt Arnold. I can't put it on Pat Murphy, because this team, they have constructed a team that has shown you they can win more baseball games than anybody else in baseball. And it's a random enough sport where you can have the best team and you can get bounced in the first round. That's why I love it. But it's also where you would hope that consistency can just get you out ahead one time. We watched an 84-win Arizona team go all the way to the World Series, and the Brewers have done that once in their entire existence. They started playing ball in 1970. That was a long time ago. And we still talk about that 82 season every single year, and they didn't even come out with the win. They still lost it in Game 7 against St. Louis. You need something that's tangible here, and it feels like they're actually building something tangible. And I don't know if I'll be able to stomach it if they can't find a way to at least get through one series.
I think that we're in much better shape, as any good team should feel, in a 5-game series. Getting out of that first round is going to be absolutely massive for this team. Murph refers to this team as woodpeckers. Just keep chipping away, keep knocking your head against the tree. I think Oz Collins mentioned that in his after home run interview. He says Murph tells us to be woodpeckers, and when you get a 5-game series, it lets those woodpeckers peck a little bit more, and not when you're in that 3-game series. And you know what? Juan Soto can just launch a 3-run home run. He can at any time. Pete Alonso, you could hang him one slider, and your season can be over. You get a 5-game series with a team that has depth. And as I've been saying all year long, starts to get some of those 1A pieces, some of those absolute dogs. I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for us.
The Brewers haven't had Jackson Chourio for any games of this 10-game win streak.
No, 10-0 since Churio's out. What is that?
Yeah, that's, and I'll attribute this next point. Like, I brought him up before, but if you guys don't listen to the Brewer Fanatic podcast and you are real dorks like me, those guys are so much smarter about baseball than any of us combined. And what their take on this whole thing, and if this team actually has a shot in October, is you need to have the power. You need to have your Bryce Terang and your Sal Frelick, and by golly, your Isaac Collins. You're going to need some home runs to get through in the playoffs. That's what the tail of the tape is pretty much every time. And yes, putting pressure on a team with the way that you play baseball, that does get you a step ahead. But it is those big hits that everybody remembers is what actually brings you a championship, which this team is showing us right here against Paul Scones or Skenes or whatever his last name is, Paul Dunn. If they can continue to hit like this, 3 home runs against the guy, and he might be the best pitcher we've seen in his prime since Verlander. Well, best righty, I'll say. Scooble might be better right now. That's a conversation for another time. But the power is there. These guys have it. We've seen them continue to hit. Bryce Terang has 4 home runs in 5 days. That is big boy bat power. If you could get 2 home runs out of Bryce Terang over all of the playoffs, you have succeeded. If you get 1 home run out of Sal Frelick, you've succeeded. And you just go down the line. You just need that little bit of consistency. And you're starting to see even William Contreras has gotten into his power stroke as well. It's just banger after banger after banger. And Rhys Hoskins hasn't been on this roster in 6 weeks. Like that. This is how you go and you get it. It is where your worst player is above average. And right now, I said it to Sam right before we got on, Joey Ortiz right now has an above replacement level WAR on Baseball Reference. It is at .4. So now every single starting 9, and I think plus a couple extra players on the bench for the Brewers, are above replacement players. And that will get you ahead of a lot of teams.
As far as the home runs front, they matter. They matter, but they're not everything. Over the weekend against the Mets hit 7 home runs against us. Over 3 games, the Mets hit 7 home runs. Over those 3 games, which the Brewers swept the series, albeit a close series, but the Brewers swept the series. Brewers hit 6 home runs. The difference is all 7 of the Mets home runs were solo shots. Yep. 3 of the 6 Brewers home runs were solo shots. Now, there's nothing you can do, if you're leading off an inning and hitting a home run, as it counts. But there's nothing you can really do about that if you're leadoff hitter. But get on base, and if that's a pattern. If you have a lineup that just hits home runs once in a while, that's fine. Power's great. Getting guys on base, knocking them around, and having not all solo home runs, I think that shows me a lot. We hit less home runs, but a whole lot less solo shots. Yesterday, Andrew Vaughn bunted. He bunted someone home. That's absolutely electric. That's knowing. Yeah. That's just good baseball.
It's just good baseball. And your testament there for your 7 solo home runs by the Mets, the pitching. They're not letting guys get on. They are minimizing all the time. And the talent's not there. You can go look at all the peripherals for this team, but it is a run prevention unit that I think could work all the way through. We haven't talked about the pitching this entire episode. It's been great. It's been so deep. But the pitching we've always believed is there. I think you get to that. It is the 3 things, and my dad taught me this from a very young age. To win a championship in baseball, you need 3 things. It is pitching, and timely hitting. And I think this team can provide those 3 things. I think they have it stacked up, and at that point, it's the luck of a draw. But right now, where they're playing, go win 100 games. That might soften the blow of an early exit if you can go win 100 games just randomly, because I think their highest total has been 96 over franchise history. If you can blow that out of the water, I mean, that's good for something, I guess. But it's got to be 100. If it's 99, it's an absolute wash.
I had a note down as we talk about kind of the length of the season, and you control what you can, and that's get good pitching, and then timely hitting is going to happen or not. And I got a take I'm really excited to share with you, Cody. Okay. I think I told you I got a really good one coming up.
I've been excited.
The Brewers are Scotty Scheffler. The Brewers are Scotty Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. Over a course of a weekend, he's going to shoot a 64 and just play great golf the rest of the way. He's going to get a lead and not look back. Until then, he really limits the damage of his shots. He's not a great driver. He's known to struggle with putts sometimes. And you look at that archetype, good irons. You can't be the most dominant golfer since Tiger Woods like that. No, you control what you can control. Don't put yourself in terrible positions. Let the opponents make the mistake. Let someone shoot a bogey. Scotty's probably not shooting a bogey all weekend. And then at some point, he's going to shoot a 64 on one of the days over the 4 days and just win the tournament. And then once he has the lead, he can shoot par golf, relax, take the foot off the gas, just not mess up. Bring in McGill and Uribe. Bring in Ashby if you want. We got four guys that can do the job and some dogs to close it out. And just let everybody else lose and be really consistently good. And Scotty Scheffler is changing the landscape of golf. He's not a big swinger like Tiger Woods was, hitting shots that nobody ever would fathom. He's not the biggest driver. He's not driving at 360 yards like Bryson DeChambeau is. He's limiting his damages. He's playing smart. He's letting somebody else mess up. And once in a while, the Brewers are going to put 4 on you in an inning. Scotty's going to shoot a 64 once over the weekend. And the consistency is just beautiful. So I was excited to share that.
Good on that. That was sick. I love that. Well, you got to go get those titles. Scotty's got titles. So that's the only
he
where
does.
you can't draw the comparison there. But I mean, the methodology just nose to the grindstone, keep looking forward, just play your game and let everybody else mess up. I love it. It's a great method to really compete in almost any sport, is to let the other person mess up and you just take care of what you take care of, and the Brewers take care of their base running. They have little to no blunders there. They always take the extra base when they can. They play great defense, and by golly, they're going to have a good at bat every time that they walk up to the plate. That is how they. That is the mentality that they have when they walk up, is I am going to make this pitcher work and I'm going to get on first. and it's beautiful.
On the day that the Sunday that we came back 5-0, you look at the lineup, and I had this written down before Murph talked about it post game. Brandon Lockridge was 0 for 3. He saw 33 pitches.
Yo.
He took a walk. He followed up. He had like 2 10-pitch at bats. That changes a game. Like, that's not getting on base. That's doing your job and making every single at bat, every single pitch count.
Yep. And I don't know where the heck they have these models that just find your Brandon Lockridge. They probably saw like, okay, this guy's fast. There's no numbers like anywhere else, but we could probably get him to work a good at bat, right? Do you think they look up foul ball numbers? Like how many foul balls a guy can hit in one at bat? Because they found a grinder. They found a guy there in Lockridge and plays really great defense. Like has the model there for Brewer ball, except the fact that the offensive tools aren't there, where everybody else is like an average to slightly above average hitter for the Brewers. But it's that mentality. It's I'm going to control what I can control, and then you mess up and we capitalize. And that's, I don't know. It's like there should be a book written on whatever model has been made. I know that there are so many analytic guys that are diving into this team right now to figure out how they've won so many games. I mean, you can go back, you can look at the Giants from 2021. That team won 107 games. I'll never be able to tell you how, but it didn't feel like this. We have to remember where we were at 21 and 24, the conversations that we had on this podcast.
And Reese was carrying the offense with a 257 batting average, and we're like, thank God for Reese Hoskins.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're like, he's keeping the boat afloat. Otherwise, we'd be sinking. And here we are. Like that you have the best record in baseball by, what is it, 4 games? Like nobody's even close. Nobody's sniffing. You erased a 6.5 game deficit and turned it into a 6-game lead, or vice versa. Regardless, you made up 12.5 games in the span of like 30 days, and the Cubs haven't even played that bad. They've played above 500 baseball. It's just the Brewers, they do the don't lose thing. They continue to just not lose every single night. And it's funny, like at this point where you can turn it on, they can go down a couple of runs and it's like, oh, wonder how they're going to come back from this one. And then every single time, Isaac Collins, it's or whoever it might be, Andrew flippin' Vaughn. I don't know.
I'm a big optimist. I think I'm a Wisconsin sports optimist. I thought the Bucks were going to win the championship all year long. I've been always trying to look on the bright side of things, sometimes to my own fault. The Brewers were down 5-0. I also like to play some bets on my Wisconsin sports team. I said, you know what? We've been hot. I would love to bet on this 5-0 right now, but I can't. I thought it was more likely that we would see a position player pitching than the Brewers to pull that one out. I was like, this feels like he's not on the team, but this feels like a day that Bowers takes the mound. It just felt like that, but I should have made $20, I guess.
$20. What are your units? 50 cents? You got 50-cent units up? Hey, whatever.
I should have done something, but I looked at the game. I was like, it'd be a great time to place a live bet on this Brewers team because I believe in them so much. But you know what? It just was. And Priester still can't lose. He did everything to get that first loss, and I think he's still got 10 wins in a row.
Yeah, it's just bonkers. This whole run is bananas, and I don't know when it's going to end or how it's going to end. But by golly, they're just making this year. Like personally for me, that this 2025 is just going to be crazy. I got married, I moved, I bought a house, and the Brewers are just randomly, without anybody expecting it, winning 100 games. Like it's it's been a blast the entire time. So I'm also very thankful to share all this with you, Sam.
I love that's the same conversation. I got married, I bought a house, the Brewers are great.
Yes, it's been one heck of a run, and I don't know how I could get any higher than where I am right now. That's just a thank you to everybody that sits here and listens to us babble about these awesome times that we have been blessed with here in Wisconsin sports. And that'll bring us to what's Gouda, as Sam prefaced it a little bit before. You got some Gouda for us today, Sam?
A little bit of Gouda. We're going to leave the Brewers for just a quick minute. The first call behind home plate wasn't Gouda, but shout out Jen Powell. First female umpire in baseball. It's just Gouda, man. You know, you can rip on the first call. Her first call behind plate was a really tough one. It was a couple inches inside. And you know, that's just rich in some sense. Hilarious.
We see it all the time.
It's good for the sport. We see it all the time. So first female umpire, she's on the field one day and then she's behind the plate the next day. Really good for the sport. Really good buy-in. I mean, we've seen what Caitlin Clark can do to a sport. I was a swimmer. Michael Phelps changed swimming culture. It just got buy-in from millions of people around the country. So I think having Jen Powell being the first female ump on a major league stage that's just Gouda stuff, man. It's good for baseball.
It is Gouda. No, it's awesome. And it opens up this beautiful sport to a lot of little girls. I know that, like, we hear about it all over. Like, there are little girls like, oh, they ump now. Like, that I could do that. I could ump on a major league field. And that's just an awesome thing to see. And she called a good game. Like, that was better than average game. I think it was like plus 0.28 runs for Miami, and Miami got blown the heck out by Atlanta. And just awesome to see it. I hope that this just starts like a pipeline, because in all honesty, I know my wife's got better eyes than I do. I can't see crap around the house. I always ask, Bree, where is this? And she's got it every time. So I would imagine that the women are going to be pretty good at telling you whether or not it's in the strike zone or not. So I would not be surprised if in 10 years, the best umpire in Major League Baseball is a woman. I think that would be awesome. And I think that is a possibility and maybe even a high probability.
I guess just good stuff, man. Like you said, just getting buy-in from from little girls that want to be baseball fans, and having someone recognize, well, I could do that. But I thought it was worth a holler. Should we get a little grader going?
Yeah, if you got some, I mean, I would have to rattle some off of the nog, and we'll figure out where it goes. Here, I got the first one. Jordan Love has gone under a thumb procedure earlier today. He got it banged up in the preseason game last Saturday. Brian Gutekunst said he should be good for week 1. Are you concerned at all by this? Do you think this worries Packer fans around the state?
It worries me more than if I heard about Brett Favre hurting his thumb, but it is his left thumb, so I think that's a good thing. I think the biggest issue that he's going to have is getting snaps. I think if there's a little bit of damage getting the snap, hopefully he can get some of the ball security stuff. Hopefully a couple careless fumbles don't turn the tide of any games, like a careless fumble from the quarterback after a touchback, give it to him on the 20. That can really change a game. So hopefully he does have it together, but I'm glad it's his left thumb. Yeah. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, give you a 2.5. It's not a 1. It's not a 0. Yeah. Jordan Love started last season with an injury. This is another injury. We know he has a freakish bendy body, but you don't like to see your $60 million quarterback having any sort of surgery.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, not too concerned. It's one of those little things, and they called it a procedure, not a surgery. And I did not get the worry level at all from Gutekunst in that presser earlier today.
Yeah, something just more maintenance than something needed. And if it's going to make his left thumb a better left thumb, I'm all for it.
Amen.
Let's keep it in the football world. Micah Parsons is really, really not happy with Dallas. And Jerry Jones he likes to sign his guys the day before the NFL season starts, but Micah has put out a couple notes on his Instagram. He's requested a trade. I think yesterday or today he thanked Dallas for his time there. Khalil Mack went for 2 firsts, a third, and a sixth. What would you give up to get Micah Parsons on this Green Bay defense?
2 firsts, a third, and a sixth. I think it'd be around that, considering how versatile Parsons is, because that's a guy that you can put anywhere in your front seven and he's going to eat it up. I'd put him at a similar level as to what Khalil Mack was. I know Gutekunst would never pull the trigger on that. I just
you don't think?
know that, no, I don't think 2 first-round picks would be out the door. I think they're just more conservative with that, but I would love it. I would think that it would be the right move to go out and get a guy like that. But the biggest problem with that is you need to go and sign him as well if you go and make that trade, because that's the whole reason we're having this conversation. You got to sign him, and it is going to be a hefty Myles Garrett-esque or over. He's probably going to be the highest paid defensive player in the NFL once he gets signed. And that's why Dallas is pushing this off, because they have already signed a lot of guys to a lot of huge contracts, and Jerry is pinching right now. And that's, in all honesty, what it is. But Parsons turns this team into an instant Super Bowl probably favorite, in all honesty.
Andrew Vaughn, 3-run home run after a couple bases clearing singles. Brewers are up 12-0 in the 6th.
Okay, tomorrow, George Webb Day. How much money are you putting on the Milwaukee Brewers to win tomorrow?
Yeah, dude. As soon as I do that, I don't think we're getting George Webb's.
Yeah, actually, so the answer is 0. No money on George Webb Day. Okay.
I'm doing that for Milwaukee. I'm keeping my hands clean. I'm doing that for the city.
Sounds good. So I got one last one. It's a little bit about preseason. Absolutely sloppy game on Saturday. I know you weren't able to watch it. I watched a little bit here and there, pretty much because the Brewers have just been playing out of their mind, and it's hard to not watch the Brewers anytime they're on TV. And Jordan Love didn't look great. The team dropped 6 more passes, which you and I have had the drops conversation a lot on this podcast, but got to start catching the ball at some point. Malik Heath dropped 1. How concerned are you about this wide receiver core at this point? You know, there's a lot of injuries, and it seems like the dropsies haven't really left in the offseason.
I'm ready to make an apology to you or whoever I overly defended Romeo Dobbs to. He's 3 years in. This is his 4th year, man. It's just not. If it hasn't happened yet, if Dobbs is still dropping slant routes, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's Dobbs. I think there's still a world where Reed can be a guy. Yeah. But I'm ready to say I was in the wrong about this. And Matthew Golden, dude, I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1. I still stand by wanting Tucker Kraft to be getting 9-10 targets a game. I think Musgraves can have a bigger role, couple tight ends, throw Josh Jacobs in there, and not spread. Just because we have 5 good receivers doesn't mean we need to be going 5 wide. Let's stay simple, get it to Kraft, a little bit of Musgraves, a bit of Josh Jacobs, and let's find out what this Matthew Golden kid is all about. Because brother, it ain't Dobbs, it ain't Dontavian Wicks, man. It ain't Malik Heath. That's not your ones.
I would love to see one of those guys have a great year, but right now, Matthew Golden has stick-em hands. I've seen the tape from practice, and you saw it in action. That ball just sticks there. It ain't going anywhere. Those hands are strong as a rookie can have them, is how I think Wayne Larrabee talks about it. So that's going to do it for us today. We'll get into more Packers as the preseason rolls along, but when your Milwaukee Brewers are winning more baseball games than any team that I've ever seen with my 2 eyes playing the state of Wisconsin, we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers, and I hope that continues to roll into next week when we'll see you again for another edition of A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast.